This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so open SSL download. Okay, so don't open the first link. Okay, open the second link. Okay, I will copy this and paste it to you in the chat. Okay, and then download this one. Just click on download. So it will take a couple of minutes to get downloaded. So once downloaded, okay, so it is of 3.8. I don't know why it's okay, so it's of 3.8 MB. Okay, file. So just wait for it to get downloaded. Okay, so once downloaded, go to the downloads folder and extract it. So browse it somewhere. Okay, once extracted, so here this is where I have extracted that open SSL. Double click on that. Double click on the bin file. Open this open SSL.exe. Okay, double click, and then what you need to do. Okay, so you have to type this command. Yes underscore client space hyphen connect. Okay, space. So what is the host name which I have given here? So give that host name. Okay, colon 636. Okay, so let me paste you this one. So this is the command to export the certificate actually. Okay, paste it. Okay, so this laptop hyphen that name, right? So that is your host name. So that is your host name. You need to replace it with. Okay, and then enter it. Okay, so once you click on enter here, so if you scroll up, you will be seeing one certificate: begin certificate, end certificate. Okay, so just copy the content of the certificate. Okay, open notepad. Okay, open notepad, paste it here. Okay, and save this file as a ldap.cer. ldap.cer is a certificate file actually. Okay, cer is a certificate file. Save it. Okay, now I have saved this file. Okay, now go to that e drive, refresh it. Where is that? Yeah, so this is a certificate which which I have given when I installing that OpenDJ server. Okay, so I need to import the certificate into the Ping Federate. Okay, open your Ping Federate console now. Go to the Trusted Security, Trusted CA, import it. Choose file. Okay, choose the file. Next. Okay, so this will automatically come up. Save it. Okay, so I have saved this. I have imported that my LDAP certificate. Okay, now that is the OpenDJ certificate. Okay, now go to the system and go back to the data store which you have created. Okay, so this is the data store which I have created. Okay, so here click on the LDAP configuration. So here enable this, use LDAP PS. Now test connection. So here you could see, right? So before when I enable this use LDAP PS, it's not working. Now after importing the LDAP certificate, it started working. So this is how you can enable the LDAP PS. Okay. So it's not only for some testing purposes also. So if you are implementing a Ping Federate in your organization or somewhere in your life, right, career life, so you have to use LDAP PS mandatory actually. Okay. So this LDAP PS, it's not mandatory in Ping Federate, but my recommendation is you have to use the LDAP PS as a mandatory one. Okay, so if there is a separate team handling the LDAP request and everything means, okay, ask them, just request them the administrator account and then the password, and ask them the certificate also, so that you can import it in your Ping Federate. Okay, save it. So once done, everything is done right now here. Okay, so what is the first step? So data store has been successfully done. So now what is the next step? PCV. So we are going to do the PCV. Okay, so here click on the password credential validator. So here create new instance. So here give the name as PCV, instance ID as same, instance name as PCV, instance ID as same PCV. Okay, choose the LDAP username PCV. Okay, because this LDAP username PCV is the one because we are using the LDAP. Okay, so we are using the OpenDJ LDAP, right? So please choose the type as LDAP username PCV, password credential validator. Click on next.
Hello, Karthik. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
so the pink Federate console like it's not working. It says looks like
Mm-hmm.
something's not right. Please contact your administrator or something like that. So I
What
try to.
happened? So have you
So
given that host name colon 9999 / pingfederate / app?
okay. So no. Host name 9999 pink Federate number. Okay. Let me try with that. You can carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry for that. Okay. So here you have to choose the LDAP because PCV is nothing but password credential validator. So it will validate the credentials for the users, right? So here, where it will be validating the credentials. So we need to specify the data store, right? Because in the data store only we have given the LDAP which we have installed, right? So here we have to choose the LDAP data store in the drop down menu. So choose the LDAP which we have created in the previous step. Okay. So I have chosen here. So here where we need to search the user, So here go back to the LDAP where we are storing the user or creating the user here. So we are creating the user in this base DN only, right? We are creating the user under OU is equal to people. I mean, if you click on this user, what is that? OU is equal to, just wait a minute. So here OU is equal to people, DC DC is equal to example, DC equal to com, right? So here the base DN is that DC equal to example, DC equal to com. So the user I am going to search it in the LDAP from this DN only, from this base only. Okay. So I need to give this base here in the PCV. Okay. Go back to the search base here, give the base DN DC equal to example, DC equal to com. Okay, so understanding this, right, how we are giving this one. Okay, so this is the base where it will start the search actually. Okay, the location in the directory from which the LDAP search begin. Okay, so here this is where the, okay, just hold on a minute. So this is where the LDAP search will begin actually. Okay, so this is where the LDAP search will begin. So under this base DN only it will search the user. Okay, so now here next step is that search filter. Okay, so search filter is nothing but it's a filter. Okay, so here dollar username is the field from the ping federate. Okay, so here in any adapter you will be typing the username and password, right? So here in that username field, right? So that is the field name variable here. Okay, so sorry, it's a variable name of that particular field in our ping federate dollar username. Okay, so here what we are going to use it for a filter here, how we can authenticate. Okay, can we authenticate based on the UID as well as the mail address? So UID is a unique ID and we can also use mail address to authenticate the user, right? So we can use two things. One is mail address as well as the unique ID. Okay, so we can give, first of all we will give one filter, again we will merge two filters. Okay, so UID is equal to unique ID is nothing but that is the UID is the unique ID. Okay, it's a unique number, alphanumeric value. Okay, so UID is equal to user name. So here one example they have given, right? For Active Directory you have to use the SAM account name is equal to dollar username. So here I am using generic directory, so I am using UID is equal to dollar username. So UID is equal to, so what is the UID here? User.6, right? So when I try to authenticate the user.6 and then the password I will be giving. Okay, so then UID is equal to user.6. It will change it to this username, will change it to this value user.6. Then it will go here in this what is the base here, search base. DC equal to example comma DC equal to com. So it will go here. UID is equal to user.6. It will search it here. Okay, where is that UID is equal to user.6? So this is the user here. Okay, so here it will search it, and then it will check the password for the user. So it will check the password for the user. If it is matching, it will give it as a successful actually. Okay, so this is how this PCV will work. Okay, so the scope of search I already told you, right? It should be a tree value. Okay, it should be a tree search, binary search trees. That is a subtree value, not as a one level. It should be subtree. So it should have to search everything in the left hand side, and then it will go to the next one, and then it will go to the next one. Okay, yeah. So cane sensitive matching should be like you should have to like check this option actually. Okay, so then only you can able to like even though if you are using a capital letter or small letter, it will accept it. Okay, yeah. Click on next. So show advanced fields, we will see these values when we are doing this password reset feature. Okay, so there is a password reset feature in Ping Federate. Okay, so these fields we will be enabling when we are doing the password reset feature. There will be one separate class will be there. Okay, at the time we will see that one. Okay, click on next. Okay, so here these are the core attributes we can able to get it from the PCV. Okay, so these are the values like first name. Given name is nothing but that is a first name. DN is nothing but that is a distinguished name. So this is the DN. Okay, DN is the whole value. Okay, it's a distinguished name. Okay, mail address is nothing but that is a mail address. Username is nothing but that is the UID. Okay, so if you want to extend any other attribute, like if you want to get last name also, you can able to extend it here itself, but we don't want to extend it here. We will be extending the contract in the direct SP connection itself, direct SAML configuration itself. Okay, click on next. So here this is a summary value. Click on save it. Okay, so once you saved it, two steps are done, right? So we have created a data store and we have created a PCV. What is the next step? We are going to create adapters, right? Okay, go back to the console again. Go back to the authentication, IDP adapters. So we are going to start with the HTML adapter. Okay, choose the type as HTML form adapter. Okay, give the instance name as HTML, instance ID as same HTML. So these values, right? You can give whatever you want actually. This name and ID. So you can give whatever you want. That is your wish only. Okay. So click on next. So here, as I already mentioned, for HTML adapter and HTTP basic adapter, okay, so PCV is mandatory for that. Okay, because so here the adapter won't able to validate the credentials by themselves actually. So it requires some kind of another module to validate the credentials for them. Okay, so here obviously like PCV, there is a separate module is known as PCV that will validate the credentials for the user, right? So here we will be we will be adding that credential validator here in the so here in the PCV actually. Okay, so sorry, here in the adapter. Okay, add a new row to the credential validator. Choose the PCV which we have created now. Choose the PCV which we have created. Click on update. Okay, click on update. So this one is done. Okay, now challenge retrace. So challenge retrace is nothing but, so if you are like typing the password, if you are typing the username and password wrongly for 3 times. So this one, the default value is 3. Okay, so that means if you are typing the username and password wrongly for 3 times, right? At the 4th time, you will be blocked for 1 minute. Okay, the user account will get blocked or locked for 1 minute. So for next 1 minute, you can't able to log into any of the application, even though if you are using the correct password. Okay, so this is for some security purposes it is having. Okay, so this is a challenge retrace will be the three. Obviously like in any organization, if you go means the challenge retrace will be the 3-1, because every time everywhere if you go after 3 times, if you type your username and password wrongly means obviously it will get blocked, right? So that is the value here. Okay, next one is a session state. Okay, so session state is nothing but, okay, there are 3 sessions are available in the Ping Federate adapters. Okay, one is global, one is per adapter, one is none actually. Okay, okay, so for what is the global, what is the per adapter, what is the none? Okay, so none you can so for none, right, none is nothing but it won't store the session itself actually. Okay, so that means, okay, so let's take an example. Okay, if two applications using the same adapter, okay, let's say the same application itself. Okay, if one application using this HTML adapter, okay, and then you logged into that application by using this adapter, by using your username and password. Okay, you logged into the application, and if you open another tab, okay, even though if the session is switched on, okay, if the session state for that particular adapter is none, means even though if you are opening another if you're opening the same application in another tab, you will be prompting to type the username and password. So that is the one, because the session state is none, it won't store the session in the adapter. Okay, so that means it won't store the session in the adapter. Okay, now per adapter, so per adapter is nothing but it will store the session in a single adapter. Okay, for example, if you are login to the application, okay, using this HTML adapter and then you are opening another tab and accessing the same application using the same adapter, means it won't ask you to type the username and password. So the session is already there, so it will automatically logging you in actually. Okay, but if you are opening another tab and opening a different application using a different HTML adapter, means in that case you have to type your username and it will prompt you to type the username and password, because the session state is has been as a per adapter. Okay, so what is a global state? Okay, so global state is nothing but, okay, so this session will be applicable for global adapters actually. So that means when you log into the application using one HTML adapter, okay, and opening another tab, okay, using a different application, accessing a different application that is using a different form adapter, okay, which is having the session state as global, means it will automatically logging you in actually. Okay, it won't ask you to type the username and password because the session state has been chosen as a globally. Okay, so here like Ping Federate suggestion or my recommendation to go with the per adapter option, that is a second option. Okay, don't enable the option for globally because separate application requires separate kind of a authentication mechanism actually. Okay, so here we will be choosing the none option, so it will be easier to test everything. Okay, yeah. Next one is a session timeout. So here sorry for that. So here session timeout is so here session idle timeout, that means if you are logging to the console, okay, for example you are logging to the not only the console, okay, so if any application using this adapter, okay, you logged into the application and if you are idle for 60 minutes, okay, so if you are idle for 60 minutes it will log you out actually. Okay, so the application or this adapter will log you out, so you have to, the session will get expired, you have to re-log in again to enable the session. This is because to overcome, this is because to enable the security of the application actually. Okay, because if you are idle for more time, right, you should have to, the session should have to expire actually. So that is why we are having this kind of a feature in the Ping Federate. Okay, so session timeout, it's a default timeout is 60 minutes. So if you want, you can extend it up to 2 hours, but it's not recommended to extend up to more than 2 hours actually. Okay, 2 hours is the maximum one. So if your client recommending to, if your client wants to have more time, means you can have more time having based on the approval actually, but recommendation is to have the lesser time limit. Okay, so lesser ideal timeout. Okay, it's good to have a lesser ideal timeout. Next, session maximum timeout is 480 minutes. Okay, session maximum timeout means 480 minutes is nothing but that is 8 hours. Okay, so that means even if you are ideal or even if you are working for continuously 8 hours, right, your session should have to expire actually. Okay, because after 8 hours you should have to re-log in again. Okay, obviously in every IT organization, if you go, means our working hours is 8 hours, right? So that is why the default value is 480 minutes. Okay, so even if you are working in that application for continuous 8 hours, means after 8 hours you should have to log in again. Okay, so these are the default values which are available in Ping actually. Okay, so if you want, you can change those values actually. Okay, okay, So here we can able to enable the password reset feature in the ping, our ping Federate also. In our ping Federate, we can able to do the password reset. We can also do the account recovery option. Okay, so we can handle that one in a separate class actually. Okay, so first of all, we don't want to enable this option. Okay, we will be handling after the SAML class. Okay, yeah. So if you want to enable the remember my username, you can also enable this option. Enable this is my device, so it will store the information of your device. So next time it won't ask you to type the username and password. Okay, so here the password reset type. Okay, so if you forgot your password, means how can we recover that password actually? By email, one time password, or one time link actually. We can do this one. Okay, we can do this email, one time passcode, and link actually. Okay, yeah. So here click on the next. Okay, so once click on the next, so the core contract will be the username. Okay, so core contract will be the username or policy.action. Policy.action is nothing but that is your whatever the adapter value, I mean like whatever the adapter is trying to do, obviously that username. Okay, because it is authenticating based on the username and password. Okay, so here if you want to extend, like if you want to get more attributes from the adapter itself, like first name of a user, last name of a user, means you can extend it here, but it does not, I mean doesn't mandatory to do this, because we can able to do it from the connection itself. Okay, so click on next. So here you need to choose the pseudonym. Pseudonym is nothing but that is a primary value. Okay, so here username is a primary value. Choose the pseudonym as username. Okay, check this option, and then we don't want to mask any values. Okay, in the log file. Okay, so we need to have all the logs which are available for the adapter as well as the PCV in the log file. So that is why we don't want to enable this option. Okay, we need all the logs to be generated in the log file. Okay, so click on next. So once it is done, click on next. So here this is a summary page, scroll down and save it. Okay, now HTML adapter also done. Okay, so now we have created a data store, PCV and adapter. Okay, so here this selector and policy, first of all we will ignore this, and then we'll create a one test connection, and then we'll come back actually. Why we need to use these selectors and policies, I will tell you. Okay, because this selector and policies, okay, so selectors is nothing but when it is using multiple adapters, we are going to use the selectors. Okay, so as of now we have created only one adapter, right? So here we will directly configure the connection, SAML connection, and then test that one. Okay, and map another adapter and then try to test it. Okay, first of all we'll map only one adapter. We have created only one adapter, and we will map that adapter in this one, create a connection, and then map that adapter in this connection and try to test it, try to give an authentication and see how it is going on. Okay, yeah. Now go back to the application. So now we have completed a data store, PCV, and then HTML adapter. Okay, now go back to the applications. Okay, SP connection, click on the SP connections here. Okay, create a connection here, so because this is the first time we are going to create a SAML configuration. Okay, create a connection. Okay, so here first of all, do not use a template, use a template. Okay, so there are two options are there. Okay, use a template means they are having only two connections using this template, but here we don't we are not going to use any template. We are going to do it because each connection will be different to each other. Okay, so do not use a template, click on next. These templates will be available predefinedly while installing the ping Federate. Okay, but it doesn't matter actually, because it doesn't require itself. Okay, because each connection you have to use the you should not use any kind of a template. Okay, do not use a template, click on next. So here first of all choose the browser SSO profile, because we are going to use a SAML configuration, not as a WS Trust. Okay, choose it. Choose a SAML 2.0 protocol. Choose a SAML 2.0 protocol. Click on next. Okay, so here choose the browser SSO. Okay, so browser SSO is nothing but, okay, because we are going to enable the SAML. SAML obviously it is applicable only for a applications who are using the browser. So that is why we have to enable the browser SSO. Okay, because we are going to enable single sign-on for the applications which is coming from the browser. Okay, browser end. Okay, click on next. So here, as I already mentioned while explaining the metadata, right, there are three types of metadata you can able to do it. One is none, one is file, one is URL. Okay, so here we don't have the file actually. Okay, first of all, we don't have a file. Okay, we will be doing the file also when we are doing the Salesforce connection actually. Okay, maybe tomorrow we can do it, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, sorry, in the coming classes we can do that Salesforce. Okay, so first of all, we'll do with the metadata none without uploading the metadata, like a manual manually uploading the like without uploading the metadata file or URL. Okay, so here choose the none, click on next. So here, this is the, as I already mentioned, so when you are going to create a SAML configuration, you need to provide a entity ID, right? Okay, so entity ID, service provider entity ID. So that means you need to give the service provider side entity ID. So here we don't have any kind of application team or application side, right? Because Salesforce we are going to do it in the later stage only. So as of now, we will do some kind of imaginary service provider. Okay, so let's say give some imaginary service provider entity ID, test-sp1, test-sp1. Okay, give the connection name also same as the entity ID. Okay, so here the base URL, if the application having any kind of application URL, right, like https abc.com. Okay, so like that, if you are having means you can give it here. Okay, so here company means that whatever, if you are working for any kind of a banking services means that company name you can provide here. And then this one, contact name, contact number, contact email. So these three things is the most important thing actually. Okay, so you have to specify the application team contact number, contact name, and contact number, contact name, and contact email address. For example, if the application team having some direct contact person means you can specify those email address. Okay, why? Because we can able to get, we can able to track this application. Okay, so this application is coming with this particular application team only. So if in future if you are having any kind of issue, or if you want to change something means you can reach out to them easily. Okay, you can able to get the person contact details easily actually. Okay. Yeah, so the next one is that transaction logging. Okay. So transaction logging is nothing but whenever if there is any kind of a request coming from this application, right, it will store the log in the backend actually. Okay, the log file will get stored. Okay, so here there are four options are in our ping Federate. Okay, no logging is nothing but there won't be, if you choose this option, there won't be any log will be stored in the backend of the ping Federate for this particular application. So if you are using a standard means it will have only standard kind of authentication. Okay, so if you are having, it will have a success and failure, and if there is any some kind of issues means that kind of a error will be there in the logs actually. Okay, so enhanced is nothing but it will have more than actually. Okay, so it will have more than the standard logs actually. Okay, but it will consume more space. Okay, so if you enable it as a give it as a full means it will have everything. Okay, whatever the transaction is happening for this particular application, right, all the log files will be stored in the backend. Okay, but like recommendation to not go with the full or enhanced. Okay, should have to go with the standard, because if you enable a standard, right, if there is any issue or any error or any failure or any success, it will be there. Standard will have more information, most of the information the standard will have. Okay, why? Because I'm not saying not to go with the enhanced or full means it will it will consume lot of space in the D drive actually. Okay, wherever you are installing that ping Federate, right, it will consume that disk space more and more actually. Okay, because for example, if you are having 100 applications and 10,000 users or 1 lakh users accessing that 100 applications means, obviously if you are enabling that log file as enhanced or full means each log file will have a GB kind of a data actually. Okay, so the server performance will get affected. Okay, so that is why to go you should have to go with the transaction logging as standard. Okay, choose the standard and click on next. So here click on the configure browser SSO. Okay, so here there are 4 options ping Federate can able to support. One is IDP initiated SSO, one is SP initiated SSO, one is IDP initiated single logout, one is SP initiated single logout. Okay, so logout we will be doing when we are doing the Salesforce connection. First of all, we will do only the SP initiated SSO. Even we are going to do only the IDP initiated SSO today. Okay, so consecutive days we will do one by one. Okay. Okay, choose IDP initiated SSO as well as SP initiated SSO. Don't choose these two. We will really sorry guys. Okay, I have some sore throat actually, that is why. Okay, don't enable this option because there is some other requirement there to enable this option actually. Okay, we will be requiring the application site certificate to be uploaded when you enable the single logout. I will tell you when we are doing the Salesforce configuration. Okay, click on next. So here, so this is the most important step actually. When an assertion is issued to, this is minutes before and minutes after. Okay, so that means whenever the SAML workflow is happening, right? Okay, whenever the user try to hit the application, okay, the request will be created in the service provider side, right? The SAML request will be created in the service provider side. Okay, so that means here minutes before, okay, 5 minutes before the request, okay, the SAML request should have to reach the identity provider. Okay, so that means 5 minutes before the request should have to reach the ping Federate server, that is the identity provider side. Okay, it should have to reach the IDP. Okay, and then after, for that particular request, right? Okay, 5 minutes after, it should have to, that means within 5 minutes it should have to like create a SAML response actually. Okay, you are understanding my point, right? Okay, that means within 5 minutes the request should have to reach the identity provider, and then identity provider again within another 5 minutes the identity provider should have to create a SAML response for the SAML request actually. Okay, so that is the time limit. This is the default time frame actually. Minutes before, minutes after. Okay, minutes before means 5 minutes, it's before 5 minutes the request should have to reach the IDP. Okay, and then after 5 minutes means the response should have to create within the 5 minutes, and then after after the response has been created, right? So before 5 minutes the response should have to validated by the service provider. Okay, so everything should have to, the request as well as the response, right, should have to be created within the 5 minutes time limit actually. Okay, so if you want you can change it to 3 minutes actually, but like it's basically 3 minutes is also too high actually. Okay, basically it will take only 1 minute of time actually. Everything will be happening on the milliseconds only. Okay, this is because of some kind of a threshold value they have given it actually. Okay, yeah. So click on next. So here assertion creation, so we are going to create a SAML response. Okay, so here in ping Federate, in identity provider only we need to create a SAML creation, right? SAML response creation. So we are going to create a SAML response. Okay, so here configure assertion creation. Okay, there are three so here there are 3 options we can able to send the SAML response. Okay, SAML response content. Okay, the content, right? The content of the SAML response we can able to send it via three types actually. One is standard. Standard is nothing but everything will be visible to the application side actually. Okay, that is a standard. Next, pseudonym is nothing but pseudonym is nothing but it won't it will create some kind of a unique identifier. Okay, some kind of a unique identifier which is visible only for a application side actually. Okay, the original content will get hide, and then it will send, instead of sending the original value it will send some kind of a unique identifier value. Okay, next, transient is nothing but, okay, instead of original value it will assign a temporary kind of a value. Okay, temporary kind of a number value it will assign it to that, and then it will send it to the application side. Okay, the response, okay, the content of the response, the standard is nothing but it will be in a normal format. Okay, pseudonym is nothing but instead of sending that instead of sending the original content it will send us some kind of a unique value. Okay, next, transient is nothing but instead of sending the original value it will send a temporary value actually. Okay, anyways we are going to use the standard only. Okay, choose a standard and click on next. So here So here in any SAML response, right, there will be one mandatory attribute will be there. Okay. So based on this mandatory attribute, they will validate. As I already mentioned, in the SAML response, okay, after sending the SAML response to the service provider will validate the SAML response and give the access to the user, right? Okay. So in that case, how the service provider is validating the SAML response based on two things. One is based on the signing certificate, and then based on the SAML subject attribute. Okay, so SAML subject attribute is a mandatory attribute. Okay, in some cases we will be sending the email address of the user in a SAML subject, or we will be sending as a UID of a particular user. So this one you can mention it to the application team actually when they want to enable a SAML configuration, right? You can mention them. Okay, so whether you want you want mail address as a SAML subject, or you want UID as a SAML subject, so they will confirm any one of the attribute actually. They doesn't want any other attribute to be sent in the SAML subject actually. So they will ask you to send either mail address or UID. Okay, so first of all we'll try to send a UID, okay, username of a particular username of a particular user in the SAML subject value. Okay, so here this one, the format will be unspecified. Okay, so this format also you can able to get it from the application team actually. Okay, the format will be, they will be automatically sending you in the metadata, right? You can able to see what is the format you want to mention it for a SAML subject, or if they ask any other attribute means you can also mention it here. Okay, so first of all we'll send only SAML subject. Next we will try to send what are the other attributes we can able to send it. Okay, yeah, so click on the SAML subject and click on next. So here there are two options. One is map new adapter instance, map new authentication policy contract. Okay, so here first of all we have created only the adapter, right? Choose the adapter. Okay, map new adapter instance, choose the adapter here in the drop down menu. Okay, choose the adapter, click on next. So here there are three options. Okay, so for example, if there is no attribute so if the application team okay, ask please send up apart from the SAML subject value, please send the first name last name of a particular user in the SAML response. Okay, so in that case means that whatever the attributes which are not get from the adapter values, we can able to get it from the AD itself. We can able to get it from the data stores. Okay, whatever the data store which we are authenticating, right? So we can able to get those attributes. Okay, that means we can able to extend the contract. Okay, so first of all what attribute we are going to send it. So here the application team is asking, okay, please send only the user ID in the SAML subject directly. So we don't want any other attributes set by the application, right? So here choose only the use adapter contract values. Okay, and then click on next. So here SAML subject, so here we are going to map it. What is the value we are going to map it to the SAML subject? User ID, right? That is a user ID. Okay, so here we are having the adapter. Okay, source as adapter. So where is the in adapter, where is the user ID will be stored? The user ID will be stored under the username of that adapter, right? So it will be stored under the username. Okay, choose the username here and then click on next. Okay, so here you don't need to choose anything here, click on next. So click on done. So this one we have configured the adapter. Okay, so we have created a SAML response. Okay, we have mapped that adapter into the SAML response, and then we are mapping the UID of a particular adapter, okay, to the SAML subject. Okay, so that means UID will be considered as a SAML subject. Okay, click on next. So here this is a summary page, click on done. Okay, so here SAML accession creation has been successfully configured, click on next. So here we need to configure the protocol settings. Okay, protocol settings is nothing but we need to configure the accession consumer service URL. Okay, so accession consumer service URL is nothing but as I already mentioned, what is the ACS URL? It's a redirection URL, right? We will be configuring here in the protocol settings. Okay, choose the configure protocol settings. Okay, choose the binding as post. Okay, so here give any URL. Okay, so here we don't have any application team, right? So give www.google.co We don't want to give google.co.in. Okay, give youtube.com, so it will be easier. Okay, give youtube.com, add it. Okay, click on next. Okay, so here, so this is the most important step again in the SAML configuration, allowable SAML bindings. Okay, so there are 4 bindings are available in Pink Federate. Okay, so post and redirect. Okay, so do you know get method and post method in Java? Do you know what is a post method and get method in Java?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
what
get
get
is to
method will do?
post is
Yes,
to
yes,
update the resource and get is to get the resource.
yes. So post is nothing but whatever resource has been get from the get method, it will post it something in the output or something like that, right? So that is the post method. Okay. So get method, it will get some kind of a resource from somewhere, some kind of a source, right? So here post method, it will post the response actually. Okay. So here in this SAML bindings, the communication happening between the identity provider and service provider, right? The SAML request and SAML response, how it is communicating between the IDP and a service provider. So based on the bindings only. Okay. So here post method, redirect method, it will get the SAML request and redirect it to the identity provider actually. Okay. So it will get the SAML request from the service provider and it will redirect the request to the IDP. Okay. So post method, what it will do, whatever the request has been got from the service provider, right? For that, it will create a SAML response and post the SAML response to the service provider actually. Okay, you are understanding my point, right? Redirect, it will get the SAML request and redirect it to the IDP. Okay, then for that post method, what it will do, whatever the SAML request has been come from the SP, right? So for that, it will create a SAML response and post the SAML response to the service provider. Okay, so it's basically get method and then the post method actually. Okay, so here artifact, right? So artifact, there are 2 channels are there. One is front end channeling, one is back end channeling. Okay, so front end will have the post method, sorry, front end will have the redirect method. Okay, back end will have the post method actually. Okay, so that is the artifact. Okay, then soap will, it's a hybrid protocol actually, so it will have all the things, artifact as well as post and redirect actually. Okay, so here we can choose post and then the redirect method because these are the commonly used bindings actually. Okay, we can choose that binding and then click on next. Okay, so here there are 3 options are there, as I already mentioned. For signing, certificate signing, right? What is the certificate signing? So it will sign whatever the request, I mean, for example, certificate signing is nothing but you are telling that service provider it is signed from this particular identity provider, right? So that is a signing certificate, sorry, that is a certificate signing. That means you are signing that SAML response by using one certificate and telling them that it is coming from this trustable identity provider only. Okay, so that is the signing algorithm we are, I mean, signing certificate we are going to use it, signing process. There are 3 signing process are there. One is sign response as required. Okay, response as required means if it is required, it will sign the response. If it is not there means, I mean, if it is not means it won't sign the SAML response. Okay, but that is not required actually. Okay, so you have to mention the second option, that is always sign the accession. So every time, for every transaction, for every SAML response, right, you have to sign the you have to sign the SAML response every time whenever there is a chance is there. Okay, so you have to choose the always sign SAML response. So here the first option is nothing but you are requiring the signing request is coming from the service provider, right? So if you enable the first option, it means you are requesting that service provider, okay, please sign the request also by using one certificate actually, but that is not mandatory because obviously it is coming from a trustable service provider only, right? So we don't require that option. That means the first option, okay, it is asking that Pink Federate is asking, identity provider is asking, okay, hey service provider, please sign your SAML request also by using one certificate. Okay, but that is not required actually because obviously it is coming from the I mean, service provider is the one which is coming from the application only, right? So we don't need to have an extra layer of security there actually. Okay. Okay, choose the always sign a session and click on next. So here, as I already mentioned, encrypting policy, right? So encrypting the content of the SAML session. So here we are going to use the none only. We are not going to use any certificate. Okay, choose the none, click on next. So here, click on done. So protocol settings has been successfully configured. Okay, click on next. So here, this is a summary page. Scroll down and click on done. So here, browser SSO has been successfully configured. That means IDP initiated SSO as well as SP initiated SSO we have enabled, and then we also created a SAML response. We are going to send the username as a SAML subject. We are using one adapter for authentication mechanism. Okay, so let's see. We also enable a ACS URL, and we also enable post and redirect bindings. We also enable the always sign the session. Okay, so for that always sign the session, we need to choose a certificate, right? Okay, as I already mentioned, we are using one certificate to sign the response, right? We need some certificate, right? So we need to upload a certificate here. Okay, so here we don't have any certificate. Okay, shall we create one certificate? So we can able to create a certificate in Ping Federate also, self-signed certificate. That is enough. The self-signed certificate is enough for signing the SAML response. Manage certificates, create a new. Okay, what is that common name here? Okay, give this host name of your Ping Federate. Okay, as a common name. Subject alternative name, give the DNS, paste this value, add it. Okay, organization is nothing but give test. Okay, organization unit OU. Okay, give some value for this. These are all not mandatory actually. Okay, country is India. Okay, and then so validity 365 days. You can also extend up to 1000 days. Okay, whatever you want actually. Even 2000 days also you can able to keep it. Okay, that is your wish. Okay. So and then this one signing algorithm should be RSA SHA 256 actually. Okay, so this one is mandatory because Ping Federate only supports RSA SHA 256 actually. Okay, click on next. Okay, make this as an active certificate. Click on save. Okay, so this one is done. Click on done. Okay, so now choose the signing certificate in the drop down menu. Signing algorithm. Click on next. So here signing certificate has been configured. Click on next. So here, this is the activation. This is a SAML connection which you have configured. Scroll down and save it. Now we have successfully configured the SAML configuration. Shall we try to test it? Click on this one. Okay. So here, as I already mentioned, this is first of all we are going to try with the IDP initiated SSO. We are going to try with the IDP initiated SSO. Okay. So here, right click, open link in a new tab. Okay, now here this is a HTML form. Okay, so this is, as I already mentioned, this is a HTML form adapter. Okay, so this is a HTML form adapter. Okay, so here okay, so here shall I yeah, so I'm going to use this one, user ID and then the password. Okay, let me change the password here for this user. Okay, shall we try to test this one, this user.6, right? Okay, okay, what is that password? I have given it wrongly. Okay, so password has been, I have given the password, saved it. Okay, now let's try it. This is the user ID. Okay, copying this one, user.6, the password which I am going to give it. Okay, enter. So once I have typed my password, you could see, right, it has been redirecting to the ACS URL. Okay, so here you don't need to mention that this kind of error actually, but that's fine. Okay, so here you could see, right, it has been redirected to the youtube.com. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, copy this URL. Okay, open another tab. Okay, open just only normal browser. Okay, normal window. Paste it. Okay, So here open another tab. Okay, there will be one type SAML tracer for Chrome. Okay, SAML tracer for Chrome. Okay, it's an extension actually. Okay, so it's an extension. We can able to add it in the Chrome actually. Okay, add it to the Chrome, add extension, checking, it will get added. Okay, so here it got added actually. Okay, pin it. Okay, now open this one. Okay, close, open another tab. Okay, now type it. Okay, I have opened switched on the SAML tracer also and hit it. Okay, I am typing my user name. Okay, and then the password. Okay, so here it has been redirecting to me to the youtube.com, right? Okay, so here if you go back, so here you could see, right, the SAML will be there. So here you could see, right, this youtube.com SAML is there, right? Okay, go to the SAML here. Okay, sorry guys, actually I will take one couple of minutes and then we'll close the call. So here this is a SAML response actually. Okay, this is a SAML response which I got it for this connection. Okay, copy this. So here this is a SAML response. As I already mentioned, the SAML response will be XML format, right? So this is a XML format. Okay, the first line will be the SAML 2.0 protocol, that is a version it is having. Okay, next, what is the status? Status is success. And what is a SAML issuer? SAML issuer is our ping Federate identity provider entity ID. So ping-test is my ping Federate identity provider entity ID. Okay, the same again, SAML issuer. Okay, so again you can ignore this one again. So here the SAML subject, what is the value we are sending? The SAML subject, we are sending the username, right? So here you could see, right, username, and then this is the format which you are sending, user.6. okay, and then so here this is the audience, test-sp1 is the service provider application side entity ID. So here this is the audience, it will consider as a audience actually. Okay, so this is how you can able to create a PCV, data store, adapter and SAML configuration, and we can test that SAML tracer also by authenticating the user. Okay, so this is how the SAML response will be created. Okay, so tomorrow we will continue the class for this SAML again. We will try to add lot of attributes in the SAML response. Like we can try to add more attributes like first name, last name, mail address also in the SAML response, and see the SAML response for those attributes, and then we'll try to add one more adapter and then try to test the selectors and policies actually. Okay, yeah, so hope you understand today's is first day for getting the practical session for ping Federate, right? So hope you understand it. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you guys. Rakesh, actually we can close the session today. Okay, I think Rakesh is not there. Okay, so thank you so much guys. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can let me know in the next class. Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone.